Fatal Influence is taking a whole new direction, so we'll see what's that about. We'll also check out what's up with Liv Morgan, Royce Keys, and more. Starting things off with the major news for Fatal Influence. Fatal Influence just got called up to the main roster on the Smackdown after WrestleMania. There's been a lot of rumors in recent months that Jacy Jayne would be getting called up, but it was always a bit unclear if her faction would be getting called up with her as well. But we got that answer on the Smackdown after WrestleMania, and the answer was yes. The entirety of Fatal Influence was called up together, which everyone was happy to see. And like we've been talking about for several weeks now, that group has been off to a red-hot start. They make their first ever Smackdown appearance by laying out 4 legendary superstars. They took out Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Paige, and Brie Bella at the same time. Taking out 4 babyface legends in the women's division will certainly get you massive heat, and that's exactly what happened. Fatal Influence came out later that night to speak with Rhea Ripley, and the crowd was extremely engaged with the segment and was booing the life out of Fatal Influence, which was great to see because it meant that Fatal Influence was doing an amazing job as heels and they were getting a strong reaction. It's the classic thing everyone says about the pro wrestling industry, that you want to generate some type of reaction. Walking out there to absolute crickets and no reaction at all is a true nightmare for a pro wrestler, and is usually an indication that you have no type of connection with the audience. But walking out there to either thunderous boos or thunderous cheers is a very strong indication that you have some type of connection to the crowd, and that's the important part. So in Fatal Influence case, the thunderous boos were established right off the bat, and they've been strong heels ever since. And in the week since, we also saw Jacy score pinfall wins over Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Those are 2 big names on the SmackDown roster that don't get pinned that often by just anybody. So the fact that Jacy individually pinned the both of them is once again a huge and positive indication for Jacy's future on SmackDown. Well, now a new report from WrestleVotes is giving some more added context to everything going on with Fatal Influence. According to their report, plans for Jacy Jayne and Fatal Influence are allegedly getting reworked and upgraded. The company apparently had an original vision in mind for the group, but upon seeing the strong crowd reactions they've been generating over the last few weeks, they're reportedly upgrading the plans for Fatal Influence and making those plans even bigger. We obviously don't know what exactly that means quite yet, but either way, it's fantastic news for Fatal Influence. They're not getting lost in the shuffle anytime soon. It seems like the company has taken notice of this red-hot start they've been on, and they want to capitalize on it and not let it go to waste, which is amazing, and that's what you want to hear, because that's the right route to go with. If something is red-hot, you obviously want to find a way to keep it going strong, because there's been times where something red-hot has flamed out fast because they didn't really capitalize on it. A good recent example of this would be the New Day's heel turn in late 2024. Such a huge and viral moment when Kofi and Xavier turned heel. They were arguably getting the strongest heel reactions of the entire roster for a few weeks there. But when they didn't really follow up that heel turn with a strong act or any solid plans, that's when the momentum really started to fade quickly. So no one wants to see the momentum fade out for Fatal Influence. If they're on fire right now, they gotta find a way to keep that going and build on that momentum. So to hear that they took the original plans for Fatal Influence and tore it up in favor of even bigger new plans is quite the exciting report and rumor to hear about. Could those bigger plans include all 3 women holding championship gold? That appears to be a like-minded goal that a lot of these women factions are sharing right now. The Judgment Day is trying to do that, Jade Cargill and her group wants to do that, and now Fatal Influence may also be sharing that same goal of covering every member with a piece of gold. There's a lot going on right now in the women's division between Rhea, Alexa, and Charlotte versus Jade and her group. And you also have Paige and Brie that have been bouncing back and forth on Raw and SmackDown lately with the tag team titles. And then you got Fatal Influence that is looming in the shadows and are kind of looking over all of these events that are unfolding right now and can obviously strike on anyone at any time. So don't let Fatal Influence out of your sight, because it's sounding like they're going to be playing major roles on television in the weeks and months to come. Speaking of the women's division, another thing fans have taken notice of is the lack of championship feuds for both world champions in the women's division right now. Both Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan won their world titles during WrestleMania 42 weekend, just over 1 month ago. And now 1 month into both their titles, and both women don't really have a clear challenger or a clear feud going on for their title. For For Liv Morgan, the first month of her title reign has been dedicated to building up some tension with Roxanne, attacking Brie and Paige, and smack-talking with Nikki Bella online. Despite Liv Morgan being active and doing all those different things, she has no clear feud or challenger for her title at the moment. There has been a lot of rumors circulating that Stephanie is extremely close to returning and how she'll be coming back any week now, so maybe that's what Liv has been waiting for and what they've been stalling for there. Maybe the second Stephanie returns, she'll be Liv's first challenger and they'll build up to that rematch. But as of right now, Liv is 1 month into her title reign with no feud happening for their title. Similar situation over on SmackDown. Rhea Ripley is 1 month into her title reign, and the only thing she's been doing lately is building up a tag team relationship with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair for a 6-woman tag program against Jade Cargill and her group. Maybe Jade Cargill will emerge from this tag team program as Rhea's first challenger, but as of this moment, that's just a tag team program. So a questionable start for both Rhea and Liv's title reigns that fans have noticed. Both men's world titles have big programs going on right now, with Roman versus Jacob and Cody versus Gunther. But when it comes to Rhea and Liv, there's no feuds or title defenses there at all right now. So that's something that fans are monitoring, and they hope that both Rhea and Liv's title reigns have some high-profile feuds and title defenses coming up sometime soon. Royce Keys is finally starting to pick up some heavy momentum on SmackDown. Royce Keys debuted at this year's Men's Royal Rumble match before disappearing for several months, but he finally appeared during WrestleMania season and has been a consistent part of SmackDown television ever since. His SmackDown career started with some squash wins, but in the last few weeks, he's actually been involved with a lot of big names. They've spent some time establishing Royce's longtime friendship with Jacob. There's been a few backstage segments there of Royce and Jacob talking to each other, with Royce giving Jacob a lot of motivational advice since they go way back with each other. With how many segments Royce was getting with Jacob, that was leading fans to speculate on if Royce would get involved in Roman and Jacob's feud. But that has not been the case so far, and Royce's other main storyline is with Solo Sikoa and MFT. Pretty much ever since Royce Keys came to SmackDown, Solo has been trying to recruit him to MFT, because Solo sees him as the perfect member of the group. Royce has repeatedly turned down the offer from Solo, but Solo won't stop coming after him with the offer. This all led up to the May 15th edition of SmackDown, where it was Royce Keys versus Gunther for an undisputed title opportunity, and Solo Sikoa came out there to root for Royce Keys and help him out. Solo was even rooting for Royce Keys by calling out to him by his real name of Will. Solo using Royce's real name is likely a character move by Solo to try and plant the seed in Royce's head that they go way back with each other and how he knows him on a personal basis. So that's probably why Solo brought out his real name, just to make things more personal there and try to pull Royce Keys to his side and get him to be more comfortable with the idea of joining MFT. And when Solo tried throwing in a chair for Royce to use on Gunther, Royce Keys threw it back to Solo, and all of this outside interference led to Royce Keys losing the match to Gunther. The fact that Royce Keys lost a title opportunity because of Solo is a big indication right there that the Royce Keys vs. Solo Sikoa and MFT program is officially underway. Royce's first full feud on SmackDown will be against Solo Sikoa and MFT, and hopefully that turns out to be a great one. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.